Every second of movement you see and beyond is motion capture, ranging from simple in-game motions, walking, turning, all the way to stunts, fights, four-person fights on train roofs, to performance capture, to full facial and body capture at the same time.
It's not your call, Aiden. I can do what I want.
It is unusual to go in and wear the suit and have these dots on your face, and it's interesting because you're kind of like limited in certain ways, but you're also way more free than when you shoot a movie. I mean, you could kind of do whatever you want.
The games we make at Quantic Dream are based in reality. Everything that actually happens in real life has to happen in our game, and the only practical way to get that is to capture the real thing. We have to rebuild the world out of cardboard and tape and foam. We have to make sure it matches what's in the game, and we have to make sure that we can actually capture with it, because there are limitations to motion capture.
So we have these very strange props that look really miserable, but they respect exactly the dimensions of the real set in 3D in the game, so all the contacts are fine.
We can't use a car door in motion capture because it's shiny and it's really heavy. We can't see through it, so we have to build the approximate of a car door, but it has to at least have some of the real properties of a car door, because just closing a cardboard doesn't play the same as a real car door.
You're in a car, and it's this ridiculous looking thing made out of 2x4s with a, steering wheel.
I'm a guy that likes to, when I'm going through a casual environment, I like to have my hands in my pocket. Well, your performance capture shoot doesn't have pockets. So we created these Velcro straps that became my pockets that I would have something to put my hands in.
It's like pure imagination. Not just the fact that you're, shooting a scene in a submarine.
Cool.
I was sure I'd love that.
Or you're getting briefed about this intense mission that you're about to go on in Somalia.
Jamal Sheikh Sharif.
It's like being a 7-year-old with your best friend and you're pretending that the world's gonna end and the bad guys are coming and we have to jump from couch to couch and avoid the lava.
I think that's also what makes it challenging, but also really incredible and like raw.
Everything becomes kind of bare and essential, but also it's sort of disturbing sometimes.
When you're eating in a scene and say we're eating pizza, it's like a little piece of triangle cardboard that, thank God, says pizza on it, or else I would not know what it is.
We built the helicopter where there is this very intense dialogue between Jody and Clayton. So everything was on wheels and we were moving the helicopter.
Because I trusted you!
Performance capture, it's digital acting. The trickiest part of performance capture is the preparation. It's getting people ready to perform. Depending on how many actors you have, it takes a while to put the 90+ markers on the face. They all have to be placed specifically for them to work right on the rig.
So you have 88 dots, these beads all over your face. Not only that, but you got all these hard ball-like Velcro things all over your body as well. It's gonna pose a little bit of a challenge, I mean.
All these little balls.
Oh, I just got like 10 bruises in my arm.
Everything's very refined because they want to have a vocabulary to play with. So you try to be the material. You try to give them as much as you can.
In our game, we have dozens of hours of ammunition. Capturing everything demanded an enormous amount of focus of the team to shoot almost every day during 1 year. And then, of course, treating all this data, bringing it to the character in the game.
Jody, where are you?
Turn back.
The game itself really requires emotion and subtlety, and I think there's no other way to capture all that than the way we're doing it. They rely on each other. We couldn't get this performance without performance capture, and it wouldn't be worth getting unless it was from these people. It's a really great mix of technology and talent.
We spent an incredible amount of work on set and character design, because every single detail is crucial to tell this engrossing story. The sets and characters are very diverse, and the story stretches over 15 years. So the challenge for us was to achieve this diversity while keeping an organic look to it all.
So we start with a script. It's a really huge Bible describing all the location, the characters, and action sequence. We've done some mood boards. It's a kind of mix between many references. It could be picture, drawing, concept art. After that, we create what we call a pack design. A pack design is a kind of Bible linked to one sequence, one location, on one main character. It's quite challenging to design characters because they are based on famous actors.
So as to really recognize their faces and their profiles, we use a thorough technical process with complete body scan and a photo shoot which is very precise to have all textures and skin colors of the actors. To work on the character emotion, I really lingered over the expression, the eyes, the mouth. On each one of these parts, we could put the camera very close and see the pores of the skin. Our ability to provide careful attention to each detail enables the gamer to focus on emotion and on the actor performance.
Nothing's gonna stop me from seeing her.
We produced various effects on characters because they needed to react to all the things they go through. It means underlining their sadness with believable tears when they're in distress, and injuring them when they get into a fight. These elements had to be visible yet subtle in order to avoid caricature.
Tell them to leave me the fuck alone, because next time, I'll kill everyone.
In scenes with bad weather, we must find the right balance between what visually happens in the background, what happens to the character, and even sometimes what can be visible on the camera lens.
What was unique is being able to make Jodie evolve. We can follow her through many years. We built close to 70 versions of Jodie.
She experiences so many moments that we could make her character very distinctive according to the period of her life.
So we spend many time with the artist concept and fashion designer to dress, to see how we could change the haircuts of an actor to make him younger or older.
One of the main challenges was to make Jodie look younger. We had very few references, and it was very delicate work. When we put the trailer online, Ellen came back to us and told us her mother had recognized her at the age of 9. That's the best compliment we can receive as character artists.
Hello, Jodie. Come in.
In Beyond, we follow mainly Jodie and also her close relation, for instance, Dawkins.
We can see him growing and reaching maturity. He begins as a laboratory scientist and he finishes by directing a whole department. We wanted to give him a paternalistic side with Jodie, and at the end, an authoritarian aspect. There are more than 300 characters in the game, so there was a considerable effort to bring all the characters of the game at the same level than the main characters. The highlight of Beyond was to go through an epic journey with Jodie, spanning 80 different set pieces.
It's slightly different from Heavy Rain. We have a much more huge palette of scene and environments. It could be a Navarro desert, tiny rooms, huge complex. We are talking about small and tiny rooms with a huge level of details, and also a kind of open world environments where we need to improve the same level of details.
One of the biggest challenges was to create an open world that we can see in the Navajo sequence. The scenery represents about 2 square kilometers. Another challenge was to build a section of a city. We did a lot of research on homeless people lived in the United States. I guess we pushed on both our engine and the capabilities of the PS3. We can find ourselves in atmospheres totally different, but inside the same sequence. We move from a daytime environment to a sunset and nighttime environment. This is the same sequence, the same street, but a totally different atmosphere. For all our effects, we relied heavily on our internally developed particle system because it allowed us to display a large number of small particles in which we could apply physics-based dynamics. Thanks to this, we've been able to have Jodie escape a collapsing, burning building, while at the same time outside there's a blizzard of about 50,000 flakes.
Beyond is a very challenging project in terms of story, visual, animation. Everybody in the team tried to push hard the limits of the PS3 just to be able to recreate this journey in the life of Jodie Holmes.
PlayStation